お前はもう死んでいる。何？お前はもう死んでいる。
Hey, what is up guys? Ledakrad here. Welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Now it has been almost 24 hours since the release of the new legendary, the Personaz legendaries. So we have Slain, we have Ledakrad, and a lot of you guys are still probably undecided on which one is probably better for you. Alright, so hopefully in this video, this is after one day of their release, I will have some answers for some of you, that is. Alright, so obviously first things first, Ledakrad is going to be the more expensive option because he is going to need a couple of key legendaries to make him strong, because his entire kit relies on him copying another defender's skill. So we do have things like Grand Hilder and Mamone right now, which are both exceptionally good. Alright, they sort of complete Ledakrad in a way. You don't really need to run 9 defenders team. I've tried that a couple of hours ago and so far it doesn't seem to work because you gotta have enough offensive power as well. Defending is not enough. Alright, so if you want to build your Ledakrad in a more offensive way, you could probably go for something like Benshina as well, which is pretty good. And of course, there's also Cecilia as an option, and we have Glacier as well. Those are, I would say they are more budget friendly than having to build something like Grand, for example. But here's the thing though, pretty sure that you saw in the beginning of the video, Grand is probably still the strongest taunter ever in the game. Like, you just can't deny it. There's a lot of things that a Grand can do that no other defenders can. Now obviously, different defenders have different roles. Alright, and some of them might be able to tank better than Grand, for example Seir, but she has her own condition. And her condition is she's only good like super early in the first 24 turns, that is at plus 15 that is. Units like Lloyd, for example, is in a different category where his taunt is probably better and he doesn't get countered by Celia, but then again, he doesn't have the ability to counter a lot of enemy warriors. So in most cases, you can see that having Grand and Ledakrad both side by side sort of completes each other. So the ability to tank is something that's invaluable for sure, and something that I do enjoy seeing. Now let's talk about Slain for a little bit, because I know there are players that are still considering to build Slain, and it's quite hard to compare Slain with Ledakrad because they both have totally different roles. Just like you can't compare a Mamone and a Velfen, because they are both very different. Now which one is going to be better for you is going to depend on your current roster of team, who you're currently running, etc. In most cases, in most situations, Slain is going to be the cheaper option. Like, he's going to be like the slightly cheaper option to build. But the thing is, right now Slain is competing with both Alec and Vals. And both Alec and Vals, they still have their spot. They are both really strong warriors that you can utilize, and anyone can utilize in their team if you're running Venaka forms. So if you don't have Alec and Vals and you went and built Slain as your first warrior, I don't think that's the play right there. I think you either prioritize Alec or Vals as the direct damage, because regardless of how strong Slain is, his damage is still going to be defense ignore. He doesn't do fixed damage, he doesn't do direct damage. And I think that's the biggest thing that I think he lacks. Yes, he does have the ability to hit the enemy multiple times, but that's only as good as the source of the damage is, right? And in some cases, Sigmund might be better to be able to deal with certain units, and in some cases, you know, Mamone might be better, Vals might be better. So it really depends on your current roster and who you're lacking. Both Ledakrad and Slain, I would say they are pretty balanced, and that is a good thing. A lot of people have been saying that they are really broken. I don't think they are, personally. So far, I fought Slain a couple of times, I fought a couple of other Ledakrads, and in a proper team comp, like, it's something that they might seem broken in theory, but in practice, once you see them in action, they are not that broken because they still get countered by some of the current units that we already have. And here's the thing, I'll be honest with you guys, if you are new to the game, right, I feel like Gran is still worth the investment, and in fact, seeing how dominant Gran is in countering both Slain and Ledakrad, I feel like Gran might actually be the play in terms of investing into a unit right now. Like, if you are still undecided on Slain versus Ledakrad, but you don't have Gran, right? I'm gonna say you build a Gran first. I might be biased right here. You know, you guys know I don't use Natus, I don't use Alec much. I'm a pure Gran Hilde abuser. And so far, based on my observations, she's really putting in a lot of work. She has a very big impact in this current formation right here, right? As you guys can see, it's just that I don't think I can do like this particular fight, this particular battle without Gran right here. And the only reason why my Ledakrad is equally as strong is because of Gran as well, right? So that's something that we have to take into consideration. Now, there are a lot of mindset that, so for Ledakrad, you don't really need a strong Gran Hilde. You can pair him with any defender. You can pair him with Iris, you can put him with Benshina at low skill level, and he might work, which is true. But you have to always understand how formation works. You can only bring in 9 units. Alright, you can only bring in 9 units, and if you choose to bring 2 defenders, 2 subpar defenders that doesn't do well on their own to fit Ledakrad, their abilities, and if Ledakrad dies, these 2 defenders will have 0 impact in your battle, and that's something that you have to keep in mind. Which is what I've been hearing a lot of players saying, alright, people saying that, okay, just use a Gran Hilde plus 3, you know, and your Ledakrad is going to be equally as strong. Sure, that's true. Your Ledakrad will have the reflective counter at plus 3. But the thing is, once your Ledakrad dies, what can your Gran do for the team? Because your Gran is a plus 3 compared to a Gran plus 15. Yes, budget is a thing, but it's something that you have to consider, right? You have to start crafting like a path on your own and see which one is going to be better for you overall. And for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be really important for you to decide properly who you want to build, because right now we have this legend skill transfer for free, right? And if you want to take advantage of that, this is the best time for you to probably just play a couple of arenas and see what is your formation lacking, right? If you lack the offensive power, maybe you want to go for something like a warrior, right? Like Alec or Vals or even Slade. But if that's not where you lack, if you're lacking the defender's part, maybe you want to consider investing in some of the core defenders, notably Mamone and Gran Hilde. I would say Mamone and Gran Hilde, they are both more important than Ledakrad himself. Ledakrad is good, but like without, you know, the high skill from both Mamone and Gran, I don't think he works as well. Alright guys, so with that being said, let me know which legendaries do you guys decide to build. Are you guys skipping both Ledakrad and Slain, or going for something like Asmode? I think I've heard that a couple of times. Some players say they want to build Asmode instead, which I don't think is such a bad investment. Like, looking at the meta right now, I think Asmode might be able to do some wonders as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Based on these battles that you guys see, or maybe based on your own arena battles, do you guys see Ledakrad and Slain making a huge impact in the meta? Or do you think they are just there as a filler to complement with the veteran players who already have plenty of other units? As always, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.